Hi everyone, welcome back to Tech Tuesdays here on my YouTube channel, Tech Girl Brianna. Thank you so much for subscribing to the family. I really appreciate it, and I appreciate the love and support I'm receiving from you all. I think it'll be really fun, since I'm graduating in a few weeks, to reflect back on my college classes I have taken so far this year. So I literally pulled up my transcript and made up a list of all the classes I took, except when I did a semester at an actual university. I have spent the majority of my college time at a community college. My journey is very different from an average American's journey. So if I have foreigners watching my videos, which I do, I have a lot of foreigners watching my videos, my experience is definitely not common and normal, but you know what, that's okay. Everybody's on their own journey. Everybody has their own way how they complete things, and for me it just took longer. For me it took finding myself, traveling the world, experiencing life first, and then wanting to study again, because I am actually having so much fun studying right now. I love it. I love being a college student. I kind of don't want it to end, and it's not going to end. I'm just not going to be going to lectures anymore because I'm going to be transitioning to completely online, but I'll get into that later in the video. Right now I just want to have a little chit chat with you before I get started with sharing with you what classes I took while I was at community college. So something I hear a lot, especially from Americans, and to me it's the biggest joke ever, is that it really matters what college you go to, and I would completely disagree. I think maybe if you're going to a very specific profession or field, or you want to be one of those people that works at these fancy salary corporate jobs and you went to a big name brand university, then okay, maybe I would say that's necessary. Or maybe you come from rich parents, or maybe you come from poverty and you get FAFSA to pay for everything with Pell Grants. Well, guess what? Most Americans don't have that luxury, so you guys don't get to tell other people what school they get to go to. It is our decision. We can do what we want to do. You know what? It shouldn't even be a necessity to go to college. I think if people don't want to go to college, that's fine. I think if people want to go to community college, that's also fine. If you want to go and get lots of loans, or if you're lucky enough to get Pell Grants to pay for everything, or you want to, or maybe you have parents that'll pay for everything, then good for you. Then you can go to those big name brand schools. But in my honest opinion, education should not be this expensive. So I did what I could with the resources I had when I was 18. So the reason why I picked community college is because at the time when I was applying for colleges, this video's gonna get a little bit personal now, but I had some very personal struggles and things going on in my life. And I don't want to share them on this channel because this is not a personal about me channel. This is to help you guys with technology and documenting my journey. So that's what this channel is about. If you like to see more like personal things, I have another YouTube channel you can check out. That's where I like vlog and I share my personal life experiences. And because of those very personal things happening in my life, my options were extremely limited. I had two options. Either I somehow come up with money by myself to go to community college, because that's all I could afford out of pocket, and I couldn't get any loans. I was not eligible because also of personal reasons I can't share. Or I don't go to college. Well, I wanted to go to college, so that was my only option. And another reason why I liked community college, it allowed me to work a full-time job. So I worked at one company for about a year and a half. I worked there full-time, but not just full-time. I was working over full-time. Sometimes I was working Saturdays. It was a really time-consuming job and very soul-sucking. But I did what I had to do so I can afford my tuition. Unfortunately, I learned I am not the type of person that can balance school and work. I don't know how other people do it, but I couldn't do it. It was affecting my mental health. It was affecting my grades in school. It was affecting my studies. I just couldn't do it. So I eventually quit that job and I got some part-time jobs, but part-time jobs are also really hard to find because a lot of them want you to work like a minimum of 20, 30 hours a week. And you're thinking, well, that's not really part-time because I have to be in school. The most I could commit to is like 10 hours a week. And even 10 hours a week was pushing it. So I was running into problems with employers employers where they weren't happy I couldn't put in more hours. They weren't happy that I didn't want to sacrifice school so I can work for them. It just sucked because I needed money to pay my bills and tuition, and I couldn't really find a company that was willing to do that for me. Eventually, I was getting really tired of my life situation, either constantly failing classes or having to withdraw from classes because they wouldn't work with my work schedule, and then losing my job because they just weren't happy I couldn't work as much as they wanted me to, and it was just getting really stressful. So I decided to use the little bit of savings I had to travel, and it opened up new doors for me, and I was able to live abroad. I was able to have a lot of fun. I met my fiance that way, and I had a really fabulous last 3 years. But the last 3 years, I've actually really been craving structure in my life. I really wanted to go back to school, and I really missed it. So now that I'm finally back in the US, I can finally study again, and I'm so happy to be back. So I think community college is better for some people because not only is it cheaper, there are better options for classes. The classes are usually smaller, like the one semester I did university versus all these years I did community college. I would say community college classes are much better. I mean, they're smaller. My teachers, they knew my name. They talked to me. I wasn't in these huge lecture halls. Although once you're done with your first and second year classes, then obviously the classroom sizes get a lot smaller, but I don't even think I can handle one class that's so huge, because only one time in community college did I have to be like in a lecture hall style class where it's like really big, where they have like a podium and then lots of students sitting, and that was really scary. That was a math class I took, and it was just better for me because they offer classes in the evening while I worked full-time in the day. And to be honest, the majority of the students that I met while I went to community college, they were all in the same situation like me, or some of them were already kind of old in their life and they decide, you know what, I want to go back to school. I don't like my job. Or some of them never even went to college in the first place and they decided at 40, hey, I want my degree. So, I mean, there are so many different reasons why people go to college, and I appreciated my peers in community college more than I did at a big university. You know why? Because at a big university, there were a bunch of 18-year-olds who did not take life seriously at all. Maybe they got good grades, but to be honest, they were very immature and they weren't very driven people. But however, at community college, people were very driven because they worked really hard for where they're at. Okay, that was a big long intro. Let's go ahead and go through all the classes I took in community college. So let's go through the general ed first, since those are literally like 2/3 of the classes I had to take. Here in America, we have to take a lot of general ed classes, but you know what, this is just my associate's degree, so once I get into my bachelor's, I won't have any of these like BS general eds. Maybe I'll have a few, but it's typically like your first and second year of college out of the 4 years you go that has like all these stupid classes you have to take that have nothing to do with your major. But you know what, I'm glad I took them because I was still figuring out if I really wanted to do computer science. So it was nice to get in that college mode without learning computer science in some of those classes, if that makes sense, because I had to develop good study habits with those classes. This is not in any particular order. I just had to look at my transcript and they were not in order, so of like the classes I took. So I took an intro to writing class. I had to write a lot of essays in that class, and then I did intermediate writing, which is, you know, harder than regular intro to writing. And then I took intermediate algebra, college algebra, and trigonometry. So those are the 3 math classes I took, which is very shocking to me because in my senior year of high school, I was in pre-calculus and I was supposed to be taking calculus my freshman year. But like I said, with all the personal things going on in my life, in my last year of high school and then my first year of college, I decided to start with easier math classes. I thought it was just 1 I had to take, but no, it was like 3 I had to take before I was allowed to take calculus. I don't remember those classes too much. I just remember the college algebra class I took. I remember I was thinking, wow, this is like way more work than what I had to do in high high school when it came to algebra. It was like, I don't know, it was more intense, especially since my teacher was actually a professor also at a nearby university, but she taught sometimes at the community college. Like, she was pretty intense. Like, she assigned a lot of work. I probably had like at least 5 hours of homework a week. And then I took economic history of the US. To be honest, I don't remember that class, but it was on my transcript and I was like, yeah, I don't remember taking that class. It was also a long time ago when I took that class because I took a break from college for 3 years and then I came back. So to be honest, I forgot most of these classes. And then I took a yoga class. Like, you're probably like, what, yoga? But that was fun, okay? I learned all the basics of yoga and I learned like what you can't learn in the studio, because we learned all about form and technique, and that was such a lifesaver when I started doing yoga classes at a studio. So you know what, don't hate on me because that class was awesome. I think I ended up getting a B in the course because my attendance wasn't very good. So then I did elements of effective communication. So that was a communications class, and yeah, I just learned about all the basics and principles of communication. And then at the end we had to give a speech, and we can use the words like and filler words, and that was awesome because for a long time I carried those skills with me, but of course I lost all of that. But that would have been nice to keep that with me. I've actually been thinking about joining a Toastmasters club because I want to get better at public speaking, and I want to get better at filming my videos, because when I edit this video, I typically edit out most of my ums and uhs and all those stupid filler words and buts. I hate it when I say but yeah, see, I just did it. This is a class I took last semester, Scientific Fundamentals of Human Nutrition. So that was actually a really cool class. Because of that class, learning so much about nutrition, it has helped me become a vegan keto. I follow a vegan keto diet and I absolutely love it. I learned all about keto and veganism. I've been vegan for about 3 years, but I've been keto for a few months. A vegan keto for a few months. There's a big difference. So that was actually a really cool class and I actually really enjoyed learning about it. And then this class I'm taking this semester called Exploring Art. To be honest, I thought it would be like a BS class where I learn about colors and shapes and all that, but no. It's actually basically an art history class. I have to write a lot of papers about artwork I really don't care about, and it's a really stupid class. I also took Introduction to Reading Diverse Culture. I actually don't remember taking this class either. Oh my goodness, guys, you're going to laugh at this next class. So I'm pretty sure this was just the school scamming me to just take a class for no reason. But I had to take a class called, well, I didn't have to. I was just recommended because I knew nothing about college and there was no one to walk me through it. I was kind of on my own. I'm like, sure, I guess I'll sign up. I regret signing up for it. It's called Essentials of College Study. Let me tell you, it is the stupidest class ever. And the teacher was really full of herself, thinking this was like such an important class you had to take in your life, when really it was just learning about how to do well in college. Even though we didn't even really learn anything, she just gave us a lot of busy work to do, and I ended up getting a B in the class because the teacher didn't like me, so that kind of sucked. And then class I also took last semester, it's called Severe and Hazardous Weather. It's basically a meteorology class. I did not like taking that class because I was just not interested in like weather meteorology. Some of it was kind of interesting and cool to learn about, but most of it I really couldn't care. And then I took a general psychology class. I didn't like that class either, mostly because of the professor. He was just very, I don't know, I just didn't like the way he gave his lectures, and a lot of people liked him, but I don't know, he just kind of came off as just like kind of, I don't know, he was kind of a hard grader. I did have a lot of stupid questions to ask, but he kind of made me feel stupid. That's why I didn't like that class. Okay, so those are all the electives I took. I know it was a lot, but now let's get into the actual classes you guys probably care about, and now those are the computer science classes I took, so it's obviously not as much. One of them is Foundations of Computer Science, so I'm pretty sure that was like Intro to Programming, I think. Yeah, that was my Intro to Programming class, so that's where I, for the very first time, learned about Java. And then I took a no, maybe not actually. What was Foundations of Computer Science? You know what? Sorry, I lied. I think Foundations of Computer Science was like kind of like a, yeah, I think we were like learning about like what is computer science and learning about like the ideas behind programming. I think it was like a very basic level class. Sorry, the lighting's kind of weird. That's why I'm moving around, because it's the afternoon and the sun should actually not be going down because it's only 2 p.m. Yeah, the sun's acting really weird. So then I took Fundamentals of Programming, which is like an intro to programming class. And yeah, that's where I learned about like object-oriented programming, like, or not quite actually. I didn't quite learn object-oriented programming yet. I just like learned about Java, made like silly little programs like print line, hello world, you know, like stuff like that. And then I took an internet and XHTML fundamental class, and that class was so easy because at that point I already knew how to make websites. So for me, that was such an easy class. However, my professor had a problem, like a major problem. He was extremely sexist. He would constantly make comments like, why are women in this class? Like, this is not a degree or class for women. And I always felt belittled. I always felt like I wasn't allowed to be there. And then he failed me. So I had to, like a few weeks after the semester ended, I had to get together with the dean of the school to see what we can do to reverse my grade, because he just simply would refuse to grade my assignments, even though I sent multiple emails to him. And then eventually he sent me a message saying, oh, well, you should have asked nicely. And then that was it. He failed me. So, you know, I had to get together with the dean and they reversed that. But in the end, he only gave me a B+ when I deserved an A, because that class was a piece of cake to me. I turned in all the assignments on time and before, and he just treated me so terribly. So I definitely deserved an A in that class. But oh well, what can I do? I cannot control sexist people. So that's one thing I have to say about, I don't know how it is at other schools, but there were a lot of really crappy professors at my school, and I just feel bad for anybody that has ever been in my position in school and being belittled by professors, or just having professors that don't do their job or don't care. That really sucks. And then I took, actually I'm taking it this semester, I'm taking a web programming class. I thought it was going to be more like, I don't know, like JavaScript or whatever, but it's actually a PHP class. So I'm learning all about PHP right now. And then I took Object-Oriented Programming. So that's where I learned all about, you know, object-oriented programming. And that was a hard class. I remember the first day of that class, I thought I knew how to like program and stuff like that. No, once I got to that class, I was like, ooh, okay. So I definitely learned the most in that class because that class was hard. But I think I ended up getting an A because seriously, I spent in that class, like outside of class, I probably spent 15 to 20 hours a week studying and doing homework. It was a hard class. And then I took a computer essentials class, and that was such a joke. I had to take that last semester online, and it was all about how to use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and PowerPoint. And although it sounds like it was very easy, it was not, because they wanted you to do very specific things that you literally never need to know how to do in your life. And you had to like study it. So I would consider myself an expert in Microsoft Office products just because I had to do so much research and studies, because I had to do very specific things, and if I didn't do it exactly how they wanted it, I would get a bad grade, you know? Sorry, I had an alarm going off. Okay, and then I took an introduction to Linux class. That was just like learning about Linux and the command line, and we had to do a lot of like tutorials and labs, but to be honest, I wouldn't say we learned that much in that class. And then the class I'm taking this semester is called Advanced JavaScript and JSP, but my teacher literally doesn't teach. His instructions are very vague, and sometimes he'll even post like the wrong like material, so then we have like no way to do it. And it's actually like, he's one of the worst professors I've ever had. Like, I'm just trying to survive in this class, but I'm literally learning nothing from him, and he doesn't even reply to any of my emails, and it's really annoying, but whatever. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you guys all the classes that I failed. Yep, I failed some college classes, not because I was lazy or dumb, but because life got in the way. I worked a full-time job at the time, and sometimes I had to skip exams because I was busy at work, and that really sucked. So one of the classes I took, it was a human origins class, which is a evolution class. And at the time, it was required for me to take that class. But later on, now that I'm back in school again, it's actually not required. So thank goodness I don't need to retake that class. And then I failed trigonometry twice, and that was mainly due to me not being able to make exams, and that sucked. And then when I did one semester at university, I actually forgot all the classes I took there during that one semester, but I failed all the classes, and one that particularly stood out to me was algorithms and data structures. And honestly, when I walked into that class, the very first lecture, I was like, whoa. I don't understand any of this. And I tried to sit through another at least 5 or 6 lectures after that. And nothing would click with me. Nothing would go through my head. I couldn't understand anything. And I understand it more now, but yeah, that was just terrible. I wish I did more preparation before that class, because I just felt like I was the only one that couldn't understand anything. And that's a really terrible feeling, because it's already hard enough being a woman in this field and trying to like prove yourself, like, no, I'm not trying to like be a poser or anything. Like, I actually genuinely enjoy studying computer science. And, you know, it's already hard enough already being belittled by professors and other students, and just, you know, feeling like an outcast. That's how I feel. I feel like an outcast. And then when I am actually stuck and I'm afraid to ask questions and I can't even grasp any of this information, it's just hard, you know? So I did fail that class and it sucked, but whatever. It happens. I'm still graduating and I'm still really excited, and I have a lot of experience under my belt now, and I'll have my associate's degree, so that's pretty cool. I'm really proud of myself. So it was a really long journey to where I am today, because I'm almost 25 and I'm getting my not my bachelor's, my associate's degree. So I mean, yeah, I guess it's not that late in life, since most of the people I met at community college are sometimes even double my age. So, you know, it's never too late to get an education, and it's never, like, you can never go too slow, but I'm incredibly grateful for where I am today. So I am planning to get a bachelor's degree, and I looked at all my options, but because I am moving to California in a few months, I would actually finish my bachelor's degree here in Utah, since I get in-state tuition here. But because I'm moving to California, literally the most expensive state in America, I cannot afford the out-of-state tuition. It's way too expensive. I hate traffic. I don't want to commute. I'm moving for my fiance's job. So we are going to be living wherever his commute is more convenient. So if I have to commute a long time to school, no thank you. I'd rather do it online. And plus, I'm such a homebody. I love studying online instead. So my plans are to enroll sometimes next year, because I'm moving in late January, so I can't even enroll into a proper school, and I don't really want to wait a year for no reason when I'm just excited to learn now. So I found an online school that I can do through Utah, and I can do it in California while I'm living in California. So you know, I already made sure that was okay, and yep, there's no like in-state or out-of-state tuition. Is completely accredited. I will share the name of the university once I'm properly enrolled. I'm not quite yet. I've just been speaking with them like on the phone and emails and all that, and making like a plan with them, but I'm not like fully committed to them yet, because I want to look at my other options first. Just remember, everyone has their own journey. Don't let other people's opinions affect your path in life. And most of all, never ever give up, because you can do it. Okay, thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next Tuesday. Bye!